Okay, I think it's all good to go.
Yeah. Yay.
So hi, Nicole,
Hey. Hi,
in Central Park,
Julie.
New York. That's pretty cool.
Just taking a break. It's a beautiful day here.
Nice. We've got
Yeah.
overcast. It's been rainy, which is actually really good for California. We need it, but usually this time of year we have a beautiful Indian summer. So
Mhm.
we'll have to see
Great.
what shows up next.
Oh, so nice to take a break.
What were you
I
doing?
was working. I got up super early. I start my day early, like at 6 a.m. So it's really great to take a break around this time. Oftentimes I forget to take a break. So what happens is I keep working until like 6, 5, and I get exhausted and I wonder why I'm so exhausted. So this is great. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. And I love having conversations with my friends who play with the tools of access consciousness. And, we always have a conversation that is lightning, enlightening, expansive, usually. And so sometimes I would have these conversations and it's like, oh God, I wish we recorded that because that was really good and other people can get something out of it. So, um,
So
what
it's
should
so
we
good to
talk about?
see you in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, you came to facilitate Talk to the Entities class. That was such a gift,
That was such a great New York experience. I haven't always had positive New York experiences. So
Mhm.
it was awesome. And staying in that beautiful hotel and the class. And it was just amazing. And, doing a jewelry party with you, that was really fun too.
That was a lot of fun. The hotel idea, your idea totally worked out.
Isn't it funny the thing that you just get this little whisper and it's like, oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, and it's greater than you can imagine. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, with that class was talk to the entities, the beginning, I was curious, like, I know you've taken a few of them, but have you noticed certain things in your life have gotten easier as a result of that class?
Hmm. I'm not sure easier, but I sense certain things. I definitely notice certain things are more pronounced.
Mm.
Um,
I mean,
I invest a lot in the stock market, and I play with a bunch of other things as well.
mhm.
And lately, the the whispers or the senses that I'm getting about the future is just really interesting. You
Like
know,
what?
like what will make money, what will grow, things like that.
Hmm.
And it seems to be very, very pronounced. Um, the
Well,
awareness shows up in my body in
do
a
you
very acute way.
do you like, isn't that a similar muscle,
Mhm.
communicating with stocks as
Mhm.
communicating? I mean, it is an entity. A stock is an entity.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like those tools would probably assist in that, huh?
yeah. I've been using a lot of the talk to the entities tools in investing and also designing jewelry. Basically, everything I do.
Yeah, it's
And
funny
then,
how there's no separation anymore. It's just all part of
yeah,
everything.
and a lot of access tools as well, because talk to the entities sort of got created out of access. But I use them all. It's just such a contribution, without just making myself or my performance right or wrong. I just always ask for more ease and space and contribution for me, my body, my life, my businesses. And it's just It's just like I'm just so grateful for Gary, Shannon, and you.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was listening to a class from many, many, many years ago. Actually, Jenny, who might be watching now, had reminded me of it. It's called Lies, Lines, and Manipulations. It was probably 2009, 2010. And I was in that class, and I know all the people and all the stories and everything because I'd listened to it before, but listening to it now, all these years later, there's such a different awareness of where we were all functioning from then and needing to be right and feeling wrong. And this whole right and wrong thing that Gary started breaking apart all those years ago. And like nowadays, when people learn the tools, it's just so much easier to unravel because of everybody over the years working on it and creating change in this area. It's just so amazing.
Oh wow, that's so interesting to hear because you've been doing Access for a long time. For me, a few years, and my experience with Access has been just something just really ease, and everything's been just super fast. Like if I choose something, then I'll acquire it. I'll absorb it. I'll make things mine, and just
You're welcome.
yeah, the inner. Thank you so much. All the people who paved the way, before
built
us.
muscles from digging it all out.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Certain things make my life so easy. I really recommend to other people, but
Yeah, it's funny too, because back then, I know I was entrenched in the belief that ease is not a valuable life. Like you have to work hard to have a valuable life, and that it's just so different now. You can create with all the elements of consciousness in the universe and create way greater with so much more ease, and it's very valuable.
yeah.
But it's funny how old points of view really mess with you.
Yeah. I just had a really nice weekend. I didn't work. We went up to upstate New York to visit my husband's family.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nice dinner, barbecue, and wine. And Sunday we went hiking on a mountain nearby, and it was like so amazing, so beautiful, so much ease and space. And I used to make myself wrong when I don't work or when I don't produce things. It's like, I look around and a lot of people live that way still. And thank goodness I choose not to anymore. And,
Absolutely.
because even like yesterday, I was talking to a friend and she was feeling so guilty and blaming herself for not producing certain results for her work and for finance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me to look at her, I mean, I'm older than her, I've had some experience or whatever. And with my awareness, just observing her, it's like she's going to be a fantastic, she just needs to just wait a little bit, be patient, and ask questions and use the tools and have lots of fun along the way. But the level of like how much this person was suffering and torturing herself, I was like, wow, I used to be there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so many people are still there. And I was like, wow, what's been ingrained in us since we were born or even from other lifetimes that I don't know, we find all these reasons to make ourselves wrong, right? And what if, I started thinking, what if it doesn't have to be that way anymore? What if people could just wake up and stop blaming themselves and make themselves wrong?
Yeah.
And choose something different.
Yeah. And there's like this underlying lie inserted in there that if you don't push yourself and work hard and do all this, then you're lazy and you won't do anything. And that's so not true. I mean, you look at little kids, they get up, they're so excited to start their day, and it's an adventure, and there's this joy and enthusiasm, and through all the judgment that we put on ourselves about what we need to do and what we're not doing and what we have to do and what we should do, it's like you lose all of that joy and enthusiasm in the face of the judgment of what's right and how to not be wrong.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
a great point. Like, how many people are addicted to working hard or trying to squeeze some results out of out of their endeavors, thinking that how much work and time they put in will equate to certain greater result, and it's not. It doesn't have to be.
And like, the other thing is, when the whole world shut down and everything changed, a lot of people lost their identity because they identified themselves with what they did for work, and it changed. And I know people who they're like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what to do if I'm not a blank, and it is challenging even for me. Like, my whole business changed, but using the tools, it allows you to ask questions and be the question, which allows you to access more consciousness. So like, okay, now what can I do? What would be fun? What could make money? What does the business desire, require?
Yeah.
If you don't have those tools, you're kind of stuck.
I mean, it's so good that we're talking about this. I worked at giant corporations for many, many years. And once I left my last job a few years ago, I was exhilarated. But then soon after, I was like, WTF, what am I doing? And who am I?
Yeah.
Right? Because like I could no longer identify who I was, because maybe I wasn't tied to the corporation anymore. Maybe because I didn't have the job title anymore, So I see that people have this need to identify themselves with something else, as if that's a great thing,
Yeah.
And it's such an addiction.
Yeah.
Or brainwashing or implants and explants.
And it's like this false sense of stability. But when everything changes and you can't do that anymore, you're not actually stable. And you got to move with it and roll with it and play with what's next. So I remember Gary talking about, when there's earthquakes and floods and all these things, like, your greatest asset is your awareness. It's not your house. It's not the things that you think make you stable. It's your awareness. So you know where to be and where not to be, and what you can choose that will create more.
Right. I mean, going through the pandemic, so I think like everybody was so challenged around keeping the stability or consistency, or what do you call keeping the status quo, right? But there was no longer of that. Like, we had no idea how the world was going to be back in March or April last year.
Right.
And so just using the access tools, I don't know, just so incredible, like how grateful I am, how lucky was I to find access before. And I've been just creating so much, having so much fun, and keep creating. And I know that, I don't know whoever will be watching this video, things don't have to be difficult. Things can be so easy and fun, no matter what we go through. So I was listening to Gary, I don't remember which call that was. It's a few years old, and I was listening to the recording of the class last night as I was like getting ready to go to sleep. And he said something about you know, how people are just like really addicted to keeping things consistent
Yeah.
or stable, and that is such an illusion.
Yeah.
Because what's really stable and consistently the same? Nothing is.
Yeah.
But then people want, oh, I want my income to be consistent and my life to be stable. I want my paycheck every week, every 2 weeks come in consistently. Yeah, but like, what are you avoiding? What if you could like really, I don't know, expand your finance or income like off the charts? Like, I was
Yeah.
looking at these investment items this morning and kind of like look at what they've gone through this year. It's like 1,000, 2,000% increase.
Wow.
So, right. So I was like, wow. And there are certain things that I kind of had an awareness earlier this year, but I got distracted. So I didn't get
Hand
into them.
sanitizer.
Huh? And sanitizer. Oh no, those are down now. But so, you know, so let's say if let's say I you know, it's just so incredible, like in investing with access tools, the awareness that I'm gaining is just like mind-boggling. Because, you know, me a few years ago wanting to hold on to that paycheck, right? I have this good check coming in every week. I'm not gonna let this cushy job go away, right? But then if I still held on to it, I would have never experienced this kind of explosive growth.
It's true. You know, what's really funny is I let go of that consistent paycheck job like 30 something years ago when I
Mhm.
created my business. And it has been an adventure all over the board. But I've never had that, you know, solid thing I've had to create. And for you and me and artists, people who are creators, we just create. That's our nature. And there are transitions. There are times when, you know, you're at the peak and you're like blown the doors off of all of your creations. And then there are times when you're in the valley of like, okay, I got to change something. And no matter where you are, it can be this light adventure instead of like this doom and gloom and, you know, I'm screwed because it's not working the same as it used to.
Mm.
So I don't know, like anywhere people are going into judgment on themselves that it's not this consistent high, or that they need to have the low so that they can appreciate the high, that's bullshit. You can
Yeah, that is bullshit.
enjoy the waves just like the ocean. It goes out and comes in, and you know that it's going to come back in. You just know it. So don't go into the judgment. Don't make yourself wrong. Ride the waves. Keep paddling.
And you know, not only the good things that, or certain things that we consider they're good and we want them consistently, not only that part of that goodness of consistency, but and also the pathetic, retarded, bad part of consistency. Like how some parts of our life may not be working well. So it's consistently not working well.
Mhm.
However, we're not, or we, or some people are not willing to change it
Yeah.
because they want to have that consistency. So
Yeah.
when I heard that part, I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy, but it's so true.
Yeah.
And all that. So I was like, yeah, right.
Predictable
Because it's
reality.
predictable and there's certain comfort for some of them. So everything that is cock and pot.
You know, Dane said something in a meeting last week. This is the quote. I wrote it down because it was so good. Miracles are a destabilizing force to a solid reality. I'm going to say that again. Miracles are a destabilizing force to a solid reality. So you have to be willing to have your reality morph and shift and change to have something greater show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the energy of chaos, right?
Yeah.
When we ask for chaos, like it's just really incredible, mind-boggling, and just out of this world. There's some of these tools that we use. And I could say this because I was one of those people who wanting to hold on to the stability or the sameness, thinking that that was a good thing, you see. So
Yeah.
now today I'm in a totally different space, and I'm just so excited and so grateful for everything that I've learned and using, because of access.
Yeah. And it comes down to like the simplest of tools. What else is possible? It's a simple question. You can ask that at any point. What else is possible? And how does it get any better than this? I don't know anybody whose life got worse by using those questions.
Yeah. The basic ones, like all of life comes to me with age, joy, and glory. Like how many times do you say it a day? I heard
a lot.
because it's like I don't know, in my mind they were so basic, so I wasn't using it. But one time I heard Gary facilitating someone, this lady who was like having difficulty in her life, and Gary goes, well, how many times do you say that?
Mm.
And she was like, maybe once. Well,
wow. I heard the story of when he learned that tool, because I think that was a tool that he channeled.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he learned when he started using it, because he used all these tools to make sure they worked. His oldest son was drinking and, doing crazy things, and he couldn't, there was nothing he could do about it. And his son went out one night and he just kept saying that mantra over and over and over again. And he went to bed, and anytime he woke up, he would say it. And he said in the morning, the son came home and said, can you check me into a place to help me? Because I can't do this on my own. And now when I wake up in the middle of the night, that's the first thing I go to. I just start reciting it and usually fall back asleep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I used the tool a lot when my husband got sick earlier this year.
Yeah.
It was really scary, and we didn't really know what was going on. He was hospitalized, and because of the COVID rules, the hospital would not let me in. He was in the emergency room. So I was like kind of freaking out, and it was around the time when COVID was still very evasive in this area, because I live in New York. So me thinking that, oh my God, my husband is lying in the emergency room with a lot of other COVID patients. He didn't have COVID, but I was like, And also back then we thought that if someone catches COVID, most likely they would die, right? So I was like, oh no.
Yes, thank you, the news that's perpetrating all of that.
So even though I knew that was not true, but sitting in my apartment, kind of wondering what's going on with him, like there's no way to get a hold of him and everything. His cell phone died too. So what do I do? Sitting on the couch, and I'm like, oh. And a friend quickly reached out to me and asked me to repeat the tool of all of life comes to me with age, joy, and glory. So, I sat there on the couch until like 2 a.m. I was repeating it over and over and over again. And I fell asleep. So,
and what happened with your husband?
Oh, he's doing so much better. He's alive.
Yay. And he didn't get COVID.
He didn't get COVID. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to work out the way you want it to, but it allows ease in whatever happens, and it allows you to move through all situations, all of life with ease and joy.
Yeah. And in a way that like the things that my husband and I experienced during the time he was sick, because he had 3 surgeries during like 6 months period of time. And we use the tools a lot. And I think this is the first year that Michael really allowed more access tools in, and he received them. But until this year, he didn't need them. He was like, I don't know why she does it, but she seems to be happier. Me. So he was like, whatever, right? And he didn't need to get his bars run. He was just like always kind of happy. But this year, like, you know what? We did so much together. We swap bars, and I'll say some clearings, and he would remember them, and he would use them on me, or he offers them to me, you know.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
It's
He's
funny
definitely
how
using those tools.
when faced with fear and difficulty and pain, will reach for the tools. But when things are okay, or things are good, or things are even great, like using the tools, then it still works and it creates even more. So
Yeah.
you choose out of pain, or you choose out of choice for more.
Yeah. And so because of the tools, like the first surgery he had, we're like very frantic. We're like in such what's the word? Like it's such a crisis that we're going through, that kind of experience.
Yes.
But we'd use more tools. We run bars, we run body processes, and then like second surgery, much more ease. And then third surgery, oh my gosh, so much more ease. And his recovery was like so much faster. Each time it's like accelerating. So I was like, and even my mind and my state, like of mind too, that the first time that he went to the hospital, I was so fragile that the experience was almost like the world was like over, you know. But then after a lot of clearing and sort of like being really conscious and aware of my state and what we're actually thinking, and those like self-talk, right?
Yeah.
In those difficult moments,
Yeah.
and just like identifying it, and just getting rid of them, destroying them, all that contributed so much for us to restore his health in such a easier faster way. And
Yeah.
it was just
That's
really
such a
incredible
great,
experience.
yeah. I mean, it's just such a great way to measure the choice and what the tools can contribute, and what we do mentally when we just fall apart. Like, it does not create ease for anybody.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people go through medical procedures and stuff, and have no help, and then have some body processes introduced before or after. It's like night and day. Your body doesn't need to go through the trauma. It doesn't need to take 6 to 8 weeks to heal, or clear a bruise. Like, it can be days. It's amazing what is possible when we play with these amazing tools.
So
possibilities.
so are you traveling soon, or what's going on with you in your world?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm traveling or not. My dad is not well, and he's most likely transitioning soon. So I've sort of left it open for that. The next thing I have coming up is another Talk to the Entities class, but it's online. And it's in short sections, 3 hours a day for 4 days. So that'll be good. And it'll be good for Europe time. So I've got French translator and other translators. So that'll be exciting. Oh, wow. I saw the sky for a minute. It's so blue.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
We get this beautiful sky in New York. I just really, really love it. And the air is so amazing, clean.
Yeah.
It feels clean. And then there are like mountains. If you drive like 1 hour north, there are lots of mountains. And then there are a lot of beaches all over the place down here, like around Jersey Shore or Long Island, the Hamptons and Montauk. So amazing. Love living here.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in South Korea.
Oh, cool.
And I moved to New York when I was like 21 years old to study fashion design.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was already 10 o'clock. I've got my expanding exercise to do, but the time flies when we have these fun conversations. So thanks for popping on with me and taking a break.
You're welcome. It was so nice to chat with you. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, you too. And I think I have some spaces for other people to join me coming up. So if you're at all interested, reach out, send me a message, and you can come on to Coffee Talk. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.